Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are here to learn ECG. There were first a few questions which were asked that sometimes time is given in ms and sometimes it is given in terms of small boxes, and sometimes ECG lead is operating at 25 millimeter per second, sometimes it is at 50 millimeter per second. So what is the basic difference between 25 millimeter rhythm strip or like 50 millimeter per second rhythm strip, or what is the difference between different time intervals which are given? For example, sometime it is given in the terms of one small box, one large box, or two small boxes. For example, like they say that the QRS complex should not be more than two small boxes. So what is the equation with which we quantify these small boxes, large boxes, or how we quantify the time? So I'll quickly be going through the basics. On the x-axis there is time shown, and on the y-axis it is the voltage shown. And in this we can see that in normal ECG settings, when you will be seeing the ECG strips, you will be seeing that here it is written 10 millimeter is equal to 1 millivolt. On every ECG rhythm strip, it is written. Usually, what happens is that sometimes it is 5 millimeter per millivolt in in the limb leads, and 10 millimeter is equal to 1 millivolt in the chest leads. So there is a slight difference. So don't get confused by that. Okay. So whatever it is written on the top of your ECG strip, that should show that what is the y-axis on your ECG. For example, here it is written that 10 millimeter is equal to 1 millivolt. It means that when we count these 10 small boxes, it will be 1 millivolt. And here in this case, this QRS complex is approximately 10 small boxes. So we can say that it is approximately 1 millivolt, right? Similarly, distance is calculated by the formula that ECG strip works on the rate of 25 millimeter per second. It is approximately 25 millimeter per second. So it means that in 25 small squares, this one small square is approximately 1 millimeter. So if we take it to 25, it will approximately take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 large boxes or 25 small boxes. That is the distance ECG machine covers in approximately 1 second, right? So if we simply divide this by the formula, we get that 1 millimeter or one small square is approximately equal to 0.04 second or 40 milliseconds. Many times you will see that it is written as milliseconds, so don't get confused by it. It is if it is written 40 millisecond, it means that it is one small box. Similarly, 0.04 second means one small box. Similarly, 5 millimeter or 5 small boxes make up one large box, as you can see in the figure, right? So these one large box, it can constitute approximately 0.2 seconds. So 0.2 second, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. It all makes 1 second is equal to 5 large squares or 25 small squares. So this is the basic formula according to which we calculate different time intervals on ECG rhythm strip, right? So coming on to next question. Next question was, what is the difference between 25 millimeter per second, 50 millimeter per second rhythm strip? So if we just saw that if ECG machine is operating at 25 millimeter per second, 1 millimeter or one small square is equal to 0.04 seconds or 40 milliseconds. So similarly, if we double the speed, one small square will be equal to 0.02 second or 20 millisecond. And similarly, 5 millimeter or one large square will become equal to 0.1 second, right? So in that case, what happens is that now ECG is covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so if we add one more square at the end of it, it will be 10 squares, right? So then ECG will be covering 50 millimeters in 1 second. In other case, 1 second will be recording of 10 large boxes or 50 small boxes, right? So how do we use it? Okay, here is a perfect example. So here we had an ECG strip where the rhythm was somehow disturbed. We didn't know because a rate was too much. So what we did, we recorded it on 50 millimeter per second. On 25 millimeter per second, ECG was very narrow down, right? So here it is only approximately 1.5 large box, slightly more than that. So when we doubled the speed, it means that ECG waves will become further apart, right? So when ECG waves became farther apart, we saw here, because we were not able to see P waves and proper T waves, and everything was mixed up. But when we did that, when we ran it on 50 millimeters per second, right? So paper speed was differentiated, found that there are atrial flutter waves with 2 to 1 ratio of passing, right? So here it is one P wave, here it is one P wave, and then there is one QRS complex or one R wave. Similarly, one P wave and one P wave, and similarly one QRS complex. So it was atrial flutter with 2 to 1 passing ratio. So that is how we calculate different paper speed, and how that is how we kind of say that how so simply, if the rate is too high or you're not able to differentiate waves from each other, you can run it on 50 millimeter per second speed, and then you can calculate. So again, estimation of the rate, I've already made a video on it, and theory was explained, so I'll just quickly go over it so that you can just get the gist of it again. So in estimation of rate, if the standard ECG setting I already told you is 25 millimeter per second. So similarly, 1 small scale 0.4 second, 5 large scale is equal to 0.2 second, 5 large scale is equal to 1 second. This was the theory. So in one ECG rhythm strip, there are it usually calculates 10 seconds. When any rhythm strip or any ECG which you are going to see is approximately going to represent 10 seconds or 250 small squares or 50 large squares, right? So to calculate beats per minute, what will we do? That we can take 1500 small squares, or there would be 300 large squares. That would make 1 minute, right? But on ECG we have 10 seconds recording. We don't have 1 minute recording, but we calculate the rate in per minute, right? So again, going on to the formulas, I already told you that there were two basic formulas in regular rhythm strip that you can use to calculate the ECG rhythm, right? So first formula is that you divided 300 divided by number of large squares between two consecutive R waves. So if here is one R wave and then there is this R wave, you can calculate the rate by either calculating the number of large squares in between that or calculating the number of small squares in between that, right? So for example, here R and R wave are approximately positioned as such that approximately they are 1, 2, 3 and approximately 4 large squares apart. We can calculate a rate with that. Similarly, here in this ECG, assuming this is 25 millimeter per second strip as well. Similarly, here we can calculate that approximately 1 and approximately 2 large squares. Or similarly, we can calculate that in between two R waves there are how many? Approximately 10 small squares. So that is how we calculate the rate. So after calculating the number of large squares or small squares, we can calculate the rhythm as 100 divided by number of large squares between two consecutive R waves, or 1500 by number of small squares between two consecutive R waves. That is how we are going to calculate the rhythm of regular ECG. So for example, if an ECG has a very slow or irregular rhythm, then how are we going to calculate? Because R waves are going to be apart, distance between one R wave and two R wave, and similarly second and third R wave will not be equal. So what will you do? So in that we can, okay, this is just an example of how you calculate and how it is here. For example, here two R waves are approximately one large box or 5 small boxes apart. So 1500 divided by 5 or 1 is equal to 300. Similarly, okay, and this is like a formula which you can remember, that if it is one large box, it is 300, 2, 150, 3, 100, 4, 75, 5, 60, right? On a 25 millimeter per second strip. That is the same, right? Similarly, this also shows the same thing, that here they calculated in an ECG rhythm strip that there were 25 small squares between two R waves. So they calculated it as 1500 divided by 27 or 27 small squares. So it gives them 55.6 per minute. Similarly, counting small squares is difficult. So here in this case, they calculated number of large squares and they were approximately 5.4. There were 5 complete and then they were like 0.4. So they calculated it again. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and because it has 5 boxes, so 2 small boxes would mean that it is 0.4 or approximately 40% of one large box. One small square represents 20% of one large square. So that is how 5.4 came, in case you didn't understand. So 300 divided by 5.4, it gives 55.6 beat per minute. Similarly, what we can do is in complete rhythm strip, we already did that in 25 millimeter per second speed. One rhythm strip almost calculate 10 seconds, right? So when we calculated the number of R waves in 10 seconds, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there were 9 R waves in 10 seconds. So in order to calculate 1 minute, we have to multiply 10 seconds into 6, because we have to convert 10 seconds into 60 seconds. So when we convert 10 seconds into 60 seconds or 10 seconds into 1 minute, we have to calculate the number of 9 beats to 6 as well. So multiplying 6 on both sides, it gives us approximately 54 beats per minute rhythm, right? So that is how things go. So in interpretation, normal heart rate in children and varies is slightly different. So in adults it is 60 to 100 beats per minute, that is the normal, and more than 100 it constitutes tachycardia, and less than 60 it constitutes bradycardia. But in children it is approximately as per age. In newborn, 110 to 150 beats per minute is normal. Similarly, in 2 years of age, 85 to 125 is normal. In 4 years, 75 to 115 is normal. And after 6 years, it approximately comes to adult. So in newborn, 110 is normal, 110 to 150. Less than 110 is going to be bradycardia. Similarly, in 2 years, it is 85. In 3 years, it is 75, not 60, right? So you need to just remember that. So what we can do is we can calculate atrial and ventricular rates separately if they are different. In complete heart blocks, this is one point which you need to understand and keep in mind. Similarly, ECG machine reading can also be used and is usually correct. However, it may occasionally be inaccurate in the presence of abnormal QRS or TVA morphology, right? So for example, there may be peak TVS which you count as QRS complex or QRS complexes. So what the rate you calculate from ECG rhythm is going to be accurate unless there is some